Involuntary. We don't have a choice. Mother Life slaps us down on our back every day. Supposed to be doing it on the back, not the sides, not the front. Lay on the back every day. And we go into the body shop. You know, it's like how you put the car up on the lift. You put the body on the lift and make sure that in the body shop where you're going in, make sure your bed, the foot of your bed is 6 inches higher than your head. So you need to raise the foot of the bed 6 inches. And you sleep on a slat with the head down into the well. Why are we doing this? Because we live upright. We spend 2/3 of our day upright, standing on our feet for the most part, or now sitting down. So a lot is going down, we need to bring it back up. So sleeping on the slant for 8 hours, it's better than doing the inversion, putting the boots up and hanging upside down, doing headstands in yoga and all of this stuff. 8 hours on the slant. What you're gonna do, all that starch that you have right here, sitting in the bottom of your toes, in the bottom of your fingertips. That's how it sits. This is how it is. This is your starch. This is your bread, your potato, your rice, the yam, the cassava, the dumpling, settling down there in your toes. That's why men get athlete's foot. It's their menstrual cycle, but it happens every day. They call it athlete. You know how they glorify stuff, and we think we're cool. I'm athletic. My foot stink. That's yeast. You're menstruating. It reminds me of a Latin song. You ever heard the Latin song? Te conozco bacalao, aunque venga disfrazado. ¿Tú has oído eso? Say, I know you codfish. You might be coming in disguise, but I know you codfish. You know, so this is a song that men in Latin culture, you know, they're very machismo. The men in Latin culture, they talk about a woman that's on her menstrual cycle. And they say they smell like codfish. So I smell you coming, codfish. Even though you come in disguise. You got perfume on. You got Chanel number 19 or whatever. So you got all that thing to kill the odor, but I smell you, codfish. So it's the same thing with the men. You might be an athlete, but I smelled your codfish. You know, so you put all the little spray and all the thing on those toes, but you're menstruating. That's yeast. Dark, warm, moist environment. Same thing with our ladies' reproductive system. And we put on the pantyhose and all of these things. Men put on the underwear. You don't need no underwear. That's another marketing thing. We want a man and pantyhose, or even panties. You're not supposed to be yeasting like that you need a bib.
True.
So, you know, just be free. But the thing is, live in the body design the body that you were born to love, for you to be able to love it so much that you don't have to get all of these accessories, you know, to feel that you're a human being. You know, so, and ideally when you're living here in the tropics, the mosquitoes, they want yeast. They want yeast. They hang out in your closet during the day because they know you keep a lot of dirty clothes. You don't wash your clothes after each wear. So they're in there, so they want your body's excrements. And they're in the closet all day. When the sun goes down, they're in your bed waiting for you. They want fresh yeast for dinner. They smart. They want live food. They want fresh yeast for dinner. You know how we observed this? We had the same program like this in Jamaica, up in Irish town, and we had 3 sisters came. 3 sisters. Another 3 came today, Monday. Together. Y'all came together, right? So we had 3 sisters, and we put them in the same room. And the housekeeper told my lady, oh, come here, let me show you something. Went back there and they took a picture and showed it to me. Someone left their panties hanging up somewhere in the room. And it's full of mosquitoes. Swarming mosquitoes. Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I said, please let me know who had this one on. Who is the wearer of these panties? And sure enough, you know, the person who came and the mosquitoes were after them and they all, you know, all the issues and all the toxicity and things of that nature. That's how I started honing in and I kept observing. So it's the yeast. It's the yeast. It's the body excrements and they're coming at it. That's why that starch settles down at the bottom of your feet and it produces yeast. Because it's fermenting, it didn't digest, it produces yeast. So what you want to do when you lay down, you have your bed, the foot of your bed 6 inches higher. You put your foot up like this on a slant. Your head is down here. So this starch is going to drain down. Same thing in your body. And get back into the stream on its way out. Otherwise, being so upright, 16 hours for the day, it's coming up, but it don't get past here. Cellulose. They put this nice medical legalese word on it, and we're not looking at the connection. You know, during our menstrual flow, we get this piercing stab, and they put the medical legalese term on that, a cramp. Cramp. What is a cramp, doc? How did this come about? Dried out starch that's in your reproductive organs, dried out starch, and now that you're menstruating, after 1-2 days of heavy flow, it's dehydrated. The starch gets dry, so it gets brittle, like chalk. Snap, and you have these sharp edges of a broken piece of chalk, sharp edges that are like knives. So they rub up against your tender mucus lining, and they're actually stabbing you. Oh, I got a cramp. They call it cramp. So you're not looking for the connection. You're not looking for what did I do. It's a cramp. It's like, you know, part of living. It's a cramp. You come here, you don't put any of that in for the next 28 days, and the cramp ain't coming out like that anymore. You ain't cramping like that anymore because you don't have that dried out starch. Starch. Complex carbohydrate. And you hear the word they put with it, complex. It is complicated carbohydrate. Because if you don't break it down, if you don't turn it into sugar, you're going to store it and you see what happens. So lay on that slant for 8 hours. Not only you bringing the impurities back up into the bloodstream so they can be transported out of the body, now you're also bringing fresh blood to the brain while you're sleeping at night. Because you see, the brain, it's like it's sitting on top of the body, and blood has to be pumped up to it. So that's where you get the high blood pressure and things like that, because the arteries in the vein, the arteries in the brain and other areas, they become calcified, dried out starch in there. So they're narrower. So less blood is going through. So the lungs, the heart got to pump harder to get blood through. So they call it high blood pressure. Yeah, which is exactly what it is. So now you want to clear those arteries out. So at night you get that fresh blood coming up to the brain. So the stagnant blood moves on off the brain, and you give oxygen. The brain needs plenty of oxygen and plenty of sugar. Sugar and oxygen, but it needs moisture because it needs to move stuff. So the drier or denser your eating is, the less moisture is coming up to the brain because we're living upright. So sleeping on that slant, see the big difference. You don't need pillows on your head. Maybe a neck pillow. So we know anything they tell us to do, we do the opposite, and we're going to be healthier and happier. You're putting pillows under your head. So you're going to make sure. So you want to just brace your neck and sleep on your back. And, you know, it's like the mummy pose. You know, you just like this, you know. Hands up, palm open, and you're just sleeping. You're out there, you're in the body shop. And all these little master cells inside of you doing their work. So the reparation period, the elimination period, now in the morning, between 4 a.m. and 12 noon, as the sun rises, you rise. So that's the break fast period. 4 a.m. to 12 noon, so only fruits. Fruit juices, coconut water, and whole fruits. That's it for the morning. Liquid and fiber. You want to eliminate. You want to empty the trash bin. You want massive bowel movements. You want to sweat. But you got to keep replenishing it. So you're looking at half a gallon for the morning. Quarter coconut water, quarter fruit juice. The more the better. The more the better. And you're flushing out. You're moving on what's been released. So here comes the elimination process right here. But when you break the fast incorrectly with the typical breakfast, now you postpone the elimination confrontation because you're pushing it back down into the tissues. What was released is going back down. It's like the morning sickness. You know the morning sickness, when you become impregnated, from ovulating, from impregnated, and you're not going to menstruate now for the next 9 months. So Dr. Raymond Bernard used to lecture at the Columbia University in the 50s. And this is the stuff he used to teach. They used to teach this stuff in school. But somehow, the sponsors of the new textbooks don't put these things in no more. Because they want to sell you something. You know, so you have the morning sickness. What we have done is what Dr. Bernard called the physiological enigma of women. The physiological enigma of the female body is that in modern times we have diverted or we have added extra load to the reproductive organ when it comes to elimination. So you ovulate. You ovulate every 28 days at a fixed time your entire life. So you know when you ovulate, living in your body as a female. Do you know exactly when you ovulate every 28 days? Do you feel it?
Yes.
You feel that? That's it.
Yes.
You feel that egg being released. You're sensitive. You're very tender. You're very feminine. So the thing is now, we have been desensitized. The dense food, the callous, living, basically. Trying to be that mother, father, and all that I gotta be. So we don't feel a lot of these sensitive things anymore. So not ideally, absolutely. You ovulate every 28 days at the same time. You're on a lunar cycle. So every 28 days, when the moon reaches the angle that it was at the moment of your birth, 28, 30 degrees here or wherever, when the moon reaches that moment every 28 days, in your lunar cycle, boop, the egg comes out. You ovulate. Fix your entire life. That's why they call the rhythm method of birth control, because what they call it, lunar conception. You know when you conceive. If you watch your moon cycle, you know when you are fertile, when you're ready. So ideally, the day before you ovulate, you have a secretion. You have a discharge. It's about like an egg white, thin, light mucus. The next day, which is the day that you actually ovulate, it becomes like phlegm, like mucus coming out, little yellowish, greenish, or whatever. It had a little tone to it. The other one was clear, like egg white. Now it gets a little tone and it gets a little heavier. That's the day that you're ovulating. The day after you ovulate, it gets white, it gets clear again, like egg white. You can confirm this by using a basal thermometer, a very sensitive thermometer, and check your body temperature every day. Sisters used to chart this stuff back in the 60s. The Dr. Billingsley, he still got the chart up. They got it in modern stuff now. Billingsley, Dr. Billingsley, or Billings, one of the two. Chart. And you write it on there. You're even supposed to be journaling what you eat. So the minute you see some discharge, you're like, oh, okay. I know what that was. I know what I ate. That was the mashed potato. You see it. So you got this stuff set up now where you could, so the basal thermometer, the day that you're ovulating, your body temperature goes up 1 degree every 28 days. So with that basal thermometer, you're going to know, like, okay, this is it. This is it. And you normally supposed to feel the body. Well, I don't know, maybe the sister, can you describe?
What?
When you're ovulating?
Usually it feels like I get heated, a little dizzy, a lot of crankiness. It's just, I feel full. I feel more engorged.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like before you have a baby, those who have children, it's like that feeling of more, your breathing starts to get a little labored just because the egg is implanting into your womb. So it's taking over. So that's starting to take over life from you.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving it life, so it's taken from you.
Correct.
So you start to feel all that.
Take it from those who feels it, knows it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been an observer quite frequently, so I kind of got an outside window looking in. Okay. Plus, in my library, I had at least 100, maybe 300 books on women. I gotta know what's going on with my woman. So I read everything I could find. Jean Rose, herbology for women, everything. Midwifery, but I switched to mid-husbandry because it's like, I don't know, back then, this time of the year, or this time of our life, it's like all of a sudden every woman wants a wife, a midwife, But that's because the mid-husband is absent. So they need somebody. And their good friend is like, you help me, baby. Help me, sister. I need a midwife, But this is the whole thing. So after you ovulate, 14 days later, your body releases the waste matter from the unfertilized egg. And this is what they call menstruation. We call menstruation. And you see it coming out. And that's what's supposed to happen during the menstrual cycle. That's what you're doing. That's the objective. But what did I eat in the past 28 days?
Yes.
Now it's coming out with the unfertilized egg.
You gotta tell the truth.
So that moment, those 2-3 days right before the menstrual cycle, what they call it? Yeah, PMS. Premenstrual syndrome. What is that, Doc? What does that mean? It's the gathering of the toxins. Yo, the floodgate is opening up. Let's get out of here. Let's jump in the stream. So all the salami and pizza and
Snicker bars,
slutty and everything is like, let's get out of Dodge. She about to open up to drop that unfertilized egg. Floodgate is opening. Let's get out of here. She don't really need us in here now. We're irritating her. She all upset. Look at this right now. It's the PMS. Look at her. She can't all that toxins in the bloodstream and it's floating around in the brain and it moves so slow in the brain and you're like, oh mother, get out of my face. So we get a attack, you know, a Mac attack. Coming back at you. Coming back at you. So ideally now, once you've conceived, no more menstrual flow for the next 9 months. So within like 1 month that you missed one, grandma be on your case. She be looking in your eyes like, you pregnant. But she can do iridology, because you can tell you're pregnant. Don't tell me no, you're pregnant. They see it right away. But we so after it now, you know, we gotta go take a test, see if I'm pregnant. That's grandma. Oh, become your own grandma. So the thing is now that back door, that auxiliary organ of elimination is not working now. So you still generating toxins and it's being released, ready to be released every 28 days. What am I going to do with all this mess now? You get up every morning and it's floating, it's eliminating, and you know, morning sickness. This bastard. It's not a sickness. It's the morning sickness. Now it's a disease. Now it becomes a disease. So this is the physiological enigma of women. So read the book by Dr. Raymond Bernard, professor at Columbia University in the 50s. He wrote the book, The Physiological Enigma of Women. And he wrote one for the brothers. Somebody look it up. Wrote one for the brothers. A bankruptcy of Freudianism. This thing about the protein myth and men need all this protein to be potent. Trying to eat conch and all this tough meat. So their penis can get tough and hard like conch. So what's the name of the book you wrote for men? Huh?
Bankruptcy of Freudianism.
No, that's not the title. That's the subtitle. I'm trying to get the right title. Dr. Raymond Bernard, books.
Now, in his book about women, does he speak to menopause? As far as women?
I don't remember, but probably not. But, oh, maybe he does, yeah. But you know what menopause is, too.
No, it isn't.
Okay, let's finish this one.
Okay.
Which one's for men?
Yeah, read the title.
Dr. Raymond Bernard. The Hollow Earth?
Huh?
The Hollow Earth?
No.
No, it changed up. Hold on. Sorry. I put in Dr. Raymond Bernard. That's not it.
There's a bunch of them.
Just read them for me, sorry.
Okay. This, some of this I know is not. The serpentine,
No.
the serpent fire,
No,
herbal elixir of life, organic way of health,
no. Something about protein.
constipation. Okay, let me put in here protein.
Or continents. Continents. Why they should hold their seed. Something about continents.
There's a whole bunch of books that's not
Yeah, W suppresses stuff.
Interior.
Huh?
It's Hollow Earth, flying saucers from the Earth's interior.
That's
Yeah, this brother was brilliant and teaching at a university.
Apollonius, the Nazarene. Mr.
Apollonius the Nazarene, that's the mystery of Christ. No, they were writing some big books back then. Ain't nobody writing this stuff no more.
It mixes in other
Continents.
the philosophical value of continents.
That's the one for men.
Okay.
The philosophical value of continents. Subtitled The Bankruptcy of Freudianism. Basically, it's about protein. Men are over protein.
Say the name again.
The physiological value of continents.
The physiological
Continents.
value of not ejaculating. of holding your sperm. You're supposed to ejaculate to procreate. But if you're not going to procreate, you're supposed to ejaculate within to recreate your life. But what we've been doing, instead of procreating or recreating, we're using it for recreation. And you go in the army and they tell you, this is my rifle, this is my gun. This is for shooting, this is for fun. Recreation. Instead of recreation or procreation, it's an instrument of pleasure. So what has happened? What has happened? Prostate cancer for the men. And which men have the highest incidence of prostate cancer in the entire world? All of them have shot up since safe sex. Which black men in particular? Let's call the spade out.
The holes.
Huh?
The holes.
The what?
Go, girl, yes.
Which one? I'm sorry?
The holes.
The hole. The stud. The renter dread. The renter dread. The rent up all in. The top 3 men in the world, 1, 2, and 3, incidence of prostate cancer is which one? Number 1, call out yourself. African American men. Number 1 in the entire world.
Wow.
African American men has more incidence of prostate cancer than any other man in the entire world. Number 2, stud number 2.
Caucasian.
Renter dread, Jamaican black man. No, Jamaica.
Wow.
Jamaica, the renter dread. Number 3 incident of prostate cancer in the entire world. The renter ballin'.
Which one?
Trinity.
Trinidad.
Yeah, you see how they, you look. What's the next Olympics? Number 1,
Yeah.
Carl Lewis. Number 2, the man from Jamaica. Number 3, the one from Trinidad. That's how they are with prostate cancer. 1, 2, and 3 in that order all the time. But all the other men in the world, they can sign up too. Since the advent of safe sex, that was the result of AIDS. Safe sex. Put on a scumbag. Put on a scumbag and get your wife to help you jerk off and squeeze your life in a scumbag and flush it down the toilet bowl. That's what we call safe sex. That's what we call safe sex. So we get to do more safe sex because we have no responsibility now. So we can screw our brains out because we squeezing it in the scumbag and we flushing it down the toilet. Criminals. Criminals. So what causes prostate cancer? A negative protein. Which negative protein all 3 of them got in common? Which negative protein the black man in the US, in Jamaica, and in Trinidad all consume the same negative protein? Every one of them.
Like chicken or beef.
Chicken or beef.
Meat. Like,
Well, it's some kind of negative protein. So how did they find out this? What is it that they test for you to check your stuff?
PSA.
Your PSA. PSA. What does PSA mean? Come on, brother. You up on it.
Prostate specific antigen.
Protein.
Protein specific antigen.
Protein specific antigen.
Yes.
Your body is producing an antibody, an antidote for a specific protein that you are eating. Come on, nigga. What is it?
Chicken, women.
Well,
You said women?
He said women.
Wings.
we just come to an end with this one. I don't think I can top that. Holy shit. I never heard that. Wow.
It's a specific protein that we are eating.
It's a specific protein that all 3 are eating.
Pork.
for the African American men, they say it's 4.
Okay.
For the Jamaican man,
It's chicken.
they say it's ackee. They blame it on the ackee because of the fat. That dish we had the other day.
The fruit we had.
The Jamaican ackee. Because of the fat in ackee. I tell Harvard, show me a Jamaican man that eats ackee without saltfish without codfish,
Yep.
and show me a Jamaican man who eats ackee and saltfish that's not swimming in grease, fat from vegetable oil, more than likely soybean oil. All vegetable oils are soybean oil. It is not the ackee, because African American men don't even know what ackee looks like. They never heard the damn thing. And Trinidadian men, they scared of ackee because the voodoo man use that. Kill you. They don't bring no ackee on my plate. So yes, consistently throughout the years in modern times, we are eating a lot of chicken. Chicken is the number one. Trinidadian men, they say it's fish. But they really eat a lot of fish. But it is chicken. Or whatever it is, it's some kind of animal protein. Show
I
me
didn't think about the PSA gene, looking at the protein. That's exactly your urine.
your body is
Or your blood,
breathing
rather.
a specific, because see, the body produces the antidote for any disease you got. So it's producing the antibody for the prostate cancer. So what's normal prostate cancer? Prostate reading. What's the normal prostate reading?
I don't know.
3, 4.
Start
It's
getting-
supposed to be around 3 or 4, your prostate reading. That's normal. 7, they're like, oh,
You may get in trouble.
little inflammation going on over there, boy. What's happening? 10, nah, getting persistent, this information. 20, we need to check your prostate. 40, okay, we need to do a biopsy. We need to see what's going on down here. 90, okay, something is really serious. Take this. Take this, take that. 1,000. Thousand, from 4 to 1,000. The reading, protein specific antigen. Your PSA is telling you 1,000. Stage 1 cancer, sir. 2,000, stage 2 cancer. 3,000, your PSA from 3 to 3,000. Stage 3 cancer. Oh man, now they running scared. They coming to me. They going everywhere. Anything, whatever I can get. What's good for the gut? You know what could stamina punch, rock hard and stay hard, strong back, all the tonic, all the Jamaican stamina tonic, everything. You know, you name it. Stage 4. That's the last stop. Next stop is death. Stage 4 is the last stop. Raw food. Give me anything. I'll eat anything. I need you to help. I keep saying rightly. I need you to help me save my life. Because I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not a healer. Go, ask Dr. Fabian or one of the, the body is self-healing. I can't get involved with that. The only thing I can do is help you mind your plate. That's it. But we don't manage the disease. Go to Yapi the herbalist or somebody. Right here. Don't bring it to our door. We do not take sick people. We're not in sick care. We can't manage it. We can't help you. If you want to change your plate, bring your chef and come. The person who is responsible for fixing your food, bring them. Or send them and you stay home. Because we don't have what it takes to help you here. We're not handicapped, accessible, none of that stuff. We're in the bush. So don't come here with your stuff. Some of them are looking for some place to die. Don't do it here. Don't do it here. I can't get involved. Your family's going to sue me. Your government going to try to lock me up. you know, all of this stuff. It's on you.
On you. Always.
It's on you. So here we go. Here we go. So that elimination period in the morning from 4 a.m. to 12 noon, you have to empty the trash bin every day. Every day. So you could be the biggest junk food eater on the planet, like Michael Jordan used to boast when he was out there ripping and running on the court. But the minute you stop ripping and running, yeah, that negative protein is going to get at you. Have you ever met a man with prostate cancer that don't eat meat?
No.
Check them. Anybody that say they got prostate cancer, do you eat animals? Yeah.
Protein.
You're not going to hear one of them saying, yeah, I've been a vegan for 20 years and I got prostate cancer. If they got prostate cancer, they say, they've been a vegan for 20 years, they say, nigga, you lying. You've been eating fish. And you ain't been no vegan for no 20 years and no stuff like that. Call them out. Call them out. Dick Gregory had prostate cancer. And you know him. He's like, the government gave it to me. The government gave, and he wrote a book and showed which meal they put it in. They spiked his plate. You know, like how he wrote that book, Code Name Zero, of, you know, who killed Martin Luther King. That was his book. And he teamed up with a white guy who, you know, had all the inside information. But the same white guy teamed up with him because he had all the inside information. And when the government put some shit on Big Brother's plate.
Put some chicken on his plate.
But he beat it. He said he beat it. But I don't know, in his last days, he kind of looked a little ragged. Yeah, he looked a little ragged. He can't hide it. He can't hide it. And I ain't saying nothing now. I know you're recording this stuff. Any of you listening to this stuff, I'm not talking no negative stuff about Big Gregory. Let's get out of this stuff. I love my mentor. I love my father. And when I mention Dr. Sabi, I'm not talking no negative stuff about Sabi. Get out of here with your bullshit.
Tell them.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So,
Do you
Yep.
think some of the stuff could be tied to like emotions, some of the diseases that people get, like with colon cancer, prostate cancer? Do you think, I mean, I know the food plays an important role, but like stress, disease in the body.
that's the word. That's BS.
Gotcha.
Stress does not cause any disease at all. That's the medical escape channel. Instead of saying we don't know, they say stress cause this and this and this. No, stress don't cause nothing. Stress is a trigger for you to seek comfort in the wrong place with the wrong plate. You ate all that ice cream because you were stressed out, and you're gonna blame your disease on the stress, not the ice cream. It's what's on your plate. It's the comfort. You know, you were stressed out and you went and spent off your whole credit card. You don't blame that on the stress. You don't blame your bankruptcy on the stress. You blame your bankruptcy on you looking for comfort by spending your money buying Jordans and Jordans. Trying to look camouflage and spend your money so you can feel comfortable. So we got a long way to go. As Dick Gregory said, we got a mess on our hands, and we all have to solve it individually. So phase 2, fasting, or not fasting, extended fasting. These damn keto people, they're some big pirates. They're gonna call the goddamn thing intermittent fasting. What school did they go to? If you're fasting 8 hours at night while you sleep and you break your fast at 11 o'clock, how does that become intermittent? You're extending your fast. They just pull out stuff and put any soundbite name on it. Intermittent sound more marketable than extended
Yes, it
fasting.
does.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, it does.
They need to take the keto and flush the whole thing down the toilet bowl. Go to my Facebook and you see 1 year on my way to Italy. I was on my way to Italy and I ordered the vegetarian plate on the airline. I ordered that. And I pulled it out, opened it up, take photos and everything. I was like a spy. Take photos and the whole thing. And when I got to Iberia, Portugal, or wherever I landed, you know, and I was doing a whole document video on this plate, I went to the toilet and flushed it down the toilet, and that's all on my Facebook. See the whole journey of this killer food. Throw that shit down the toilet bowl. You spent money for that. Take it and flush it. They charging you to kill you on the plane, but now they don't do that no more. Now you gotta buy it separate. Last place you want to eat is up on in the sky. Your body cannot digest. So you're gonna get jet lag and all of this stuff. It's a blessing. They don't even want you to bring no liquid on the plane. Fine, you just need to be on a dry fast while you're up there. You're going against your nature, trying to digest up there. It ain't gonna work. So from 4 a.m. to 12 noon, you're hydrating. You're extending your fast. You know, or you just have liquid and fiber at this point. Foods that are going to facilitate elimination. So phase 3 of your daily cycle. Now that kicks in from 12 noon as the sun begins to go down. Now you're coming back down to earth. In the morning, you want foods that are growing above your arm's reach. You want to reach up high up in the sky. You want to get coconuts, you want to get mangoes and oranges, you want to get tree food, high moisture, high altitude in terms of how they grow. At noon, you're coming down to earth. You want to eat foods that are growing within your arm's reach. The sun is coming down. Foods that are growing within your arm's reach. Lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers. Yeah, arm's reach. Protein. Arm's reach, you know, your nuts off the tree. You got to cultivate the tree so the nuts are growing low. You got to prune it so it doesn't grow too high. So, but this is your protein because they don't have moisture in them. Like the electrical foods that are growing high, that have the high moisture. It's the height and the moisture that drives the whole thing. And then, as the sun goes down, your dinner food, you want to get foods that are going beneath your arm's reach. You got to bend down. You got to grab the ginger. You got to grab the peanuts. You got to go under the earth and get out the carrots. So electrical, electromagnetic, and magnetic. So Sabi gave you a little hint. My brother Sabi, bless his soul, you know, me and my partner, John Harris, brought him to New York in 1980 for his first major U.S. appearance in the United States. And this is fact. For those of you that are looking at this and listening to this, 1980, John Harris from Harlem, myself from Harlem, we brought Dr. Sabi to Harlem. And we took him at Columbia University, the highest institution in Harlem. And we set up a big presentation for him. We had him stayed in Midtown at the Diplomat Hotel. John Harris did the opening presentation on the spirituality, the soul of food. I did the second presentation on the electromagnetic energies of plant food. And Dr. Sabi did his thing. And his thing was about herbs. An herbalist. Nothing about food. All about herbs. Brought in big bales of herbs, and his Mexican partner was with him. The brother that had been sourcing his herbs from Mexico all these years. And they brought it, and he had his iron tonic, the Usha Institute, all of this stuff. Sold a lot of products. He's a master traveling salesman. And Sister Maaz back home in Puerto Rico put together the formulas, and he was the road man. He was the traveling salesman. And the sisters are back in the kitchen putting the stuff together under his supervision or whatever, however it worked out. And me and Dr. Sabi, our relationship started that Friday at the hotel, and ended that Monday at the hotel. My wife at the time, Dr. Rosa Kincaid, she's some big medical professional there in St. Louis now. I remember she bought one of his tonics. She was at Temple University. Monday she went to the lab, checked it out, called me up. I want a refund. This is nothing to put no negative light on Dr. Sabi. I'm sharing facts.
Yeah, keep it real.
I'm sharing facts. Any of you got any questions? Go ahead and put your comments wherever you're reading this, wherever you're hearing this. And if you have any doubts as to what I say, and you think that my health is fake, let's sit down and talk together. Bring your medical report. I bring my medical report, not your ideas and concepts and theories. Let facts speak louder than words. And let's see, I drink carrot juice and check my medical report. You don't drink carrot juice, whatever it is. So we have to really open up.
Yeah.
And I'm open. And that's why I'm inviting you to let's have a family conversation. Because people are listening to us. People are following us. So anyway, my sister wanted a refund. But she said it was a bottle of molasses with tinctured herbs in it. Then she put it in the lab and she tested it. Rosa, you can tell the folks if this information gets to you. And I understand a couple of weeks later, when Sabi did his workshop in Atlanta, he called me out and Big Gregory for serving white folks carrot. Because we were all over the national, everywhere, Sunfired Foods and Big Gregory and all the other things. And I understand Sabi dropped a lot of bullets on my name during that time. And I'm not speaking about the brother on this level because he's not here. I've always spoken about him, even the day when I heard it. And I share with him, I love you, my brother, and let's continue the work. So, on and on. And you see the pattern. You see the pattern even continuing up to today. Food sells. You have made raw food sell. And all of a sudden, years later, you hear certain people like, I'm a raw foodist. Because it sells. You hear people talking about electrical food. Once I dropped electromagnetic, and they highlight the electrical food. Every electrical current needs a grounding, a negative pulse. It needs magnetic as well. You want electromagnetic, it's just how much of the high-powered electrical energy you want and how to balance it with the magnetic food. You should eat some ground food. You should eat some starch. You need some degree of balancing. So you determine that. And even today, you got this sad guru. What's his name? That's his name,
Yeah,
right?
sad
Guru. You got a sad guru talking about he's all raw food now. No, he's promoting raw food big time. Because the people in this thing now, they push the envelope. And a lot of them are into raw food. The brother is great, and I'm not speaking against him, I'm not challenging him or anything like that. It's good to see them come all home, because you're bringing a whole flock with you. But ultimately, you can't, I just call them my marketing agents. Because ultimately, you got to come home. You got to come home to Sunfire. And it's good that they're bringing you up with the electrical diet, with the guru diet, and the keto diet, and all of this stuff. But we're dealing with food that's been time tested. We're not dealing with something that humans just started eating 10,000 years ago. We're talking about mangoes and coconuts and oranges and bananas. Yeah, some of them are hybrid, and then we got to talk about the hybrid thing and all of that. So we're going to skip those things, and we're going to look at phase 3 of our daily cycle. So from 12 noon to 8 p.m. So you see the cycle, you see the rhythms. The sun, you're living within the tropical belt, the sun sets at 6 p.m. or a few minutes before or after, depending on the time of the year, and it rises at 6 a.m. So number one, we're looking at the daylight dining from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's when we should be consuming food. We went off the record last night, we ate late. But we're still human beings, we're still animals, and we still screw up a lot based on our reality today. So call it whatever you want, you got to deal with your personal reality. So there's no one system that fits us all, and there's no one box that we all need to try to squeeze into. If you're working 9 p.m., to 5 a.m., that's your reality. You can't sleep during that time. So I'm not going to try to squeeze it. We're giving guideposts, and you work your life according to your reality. So ideally, you want to go to bed 2 hours after sunset, 8 p.m. Because obviously the alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m., the rooster. The rooster crows every morning. And if you're living in a man's body, your rooster's supposed to be crowing every morning. Your cock should be hard at 4 a.m. Otherwise something is wrong with your blood, with your transportation system. That's why they call them cocks, the roosters. And when they're crowing at 4 a.m., they got a hard horn. And they looking for mama. This is time they get to roll over. Oh, you over here, baby. let's be fruitful and multiply. So from 8 p.m. You see, if you look at this place and you visualize it before Christopher come bust us, as Muka Baruka would say. Christopher and them came and busted us here and turned on the goddamn lights. They want to see, because they came without women. They want to look for some, they can't find black women in the middle of the night. So they turned on the lights, gave us electricity. So now we're doing all kind of stuff because we got light. We got artificial light. But before those guys came, when the sun went down, everybody in this village went to bed at 8 o'clock. And you see, most of them are still doing it. But I don't know, they locked up, but they probably watching TV or something. They plugged into some other stuff. But ideally, 2 hours after sunset, you can't see nothing. So you can't work no more. We used to work from can't see to can't see. So you can't work no more. So we went to bed. Once we couldn't see. 8 p.m. At 4 a.m. we rise with the rooster, we rise with the cock. So from 4 a.m. to 12 noon, phase 2, you go with the sun rising. Phase 3, when the sun starts to go down. So this is how you delineate and you see the time that you're supposed to be eating, and your digestive system is more active at 3 p.m., middle of the afternoon. So ideally you want one meal a day, and that meal should be around mid-afternoon. And that's when you notice you're reaching for the snack. You're reaching for the drawback. So, otherwise, break your fast, 8 a.m., 6 a.m., have your last meal, 6 p.m. Give it 2 hours to leave the stomach before you lie down. So go walk, run, jog, whatever you do, to move it. And that's about it. I think that's the answer to that question. And is there any other question that we can answer now? Otherwise, let's go hit the mud.
Let's go hit the mud.
Okay, so towels. You have, we didn't bring the towels. You have,
We have extra towels in our room.
no white.
No.
No white. Oh, you got the extras, right? And you got extras. The dark towel, colored towel.
I think it's blue. I got a couple of blue ones now.
Yes, so you got 2 blue ones and you got 2 of the other ones. So you can give up 2.
Okay.
And you got
I think I have.
you got 4.
Yeah, on the floor.
Right, so give up 2. So we have 2 for, so we have 4 extra towels that are not white. You don't want to use white. So we go into the clay bikini, swimsuit, the least body wear. So ideally, we're fixing that area up to be a spa area, and we're gonna set it up where, you know, ideally, eventually, you just do fully naked, body free. Because you want to put the clay on really from hair to toe. Just do the best you can now. You don't have to put it in your hair, but in the ideal world, the ideal time, you put it on from hair to toe, and we lay out in the sun and let it bake. After it dries, we exfoliate. We exfoliate with straw, with loofah, with some kind. So you're going to now move the stagnant blood by using the clay and the exfoliation to bring new, fresh blood to the area. And you see the big difference, and you're going to feel that you've dropped some waste. So no whites. And then there's a shower that you're going to go in the shower and get all the excess clay off before you do the showers in your room. Or you can even use these 2 showers here before you use the shower, because you don't want mud in those showers at all. And try not to use white towels for the rest of the day. And that's it.
All right.
So we'll see you back there.
Thank you so
When
much.
you're ready,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go get all the stuff that you need, that we have, and just keep drinking. Keep drinking. Open up coconuts. You can bottle up some coconut if you want to take a bottle with you back there. You're going to be out there for about an hour and a half.
All right.
Because you're going to take about a half hour for each side of the body to dry, the front and the back. Then the exfoliation, then the hosing off, and that kind of stuff. So hydration.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
I get the name of the book again.